Hi, my name is Sam Brown, and I worked with Jake Lawler and Jordan Turtle on the Hack a Game project for Foundations of Motion Interaction. For this project, we were tasked with hacking a classic board game made before 2002. The original idea that we had came up with was to do a Scooby-Doo version of Clue, but we realized that would infringe on too much copyright if we ever wanted to publish our game or share it with anybody. We also thought it was a little too similar to the other group's idea, so we decided, based on Jake's interest in geography, to do a international version. Rather than being set in a mansion, the game is set on a world map with players taking on the role of detectives from different countries trying to prevent a series of attacks on key landmarks. We renamed the game to Crisis rather than Clue. To begin the process, I spent a lot of time sketching out my ideas and mapping out key components of the game. I wanted to create a game that was both challenging and fun, with a strong sense of urgency and stakes. Once we had a solid concept in place, we began prototyping and sketching out what we would do for the game board and the pieces. As research for our version of the game, we looked into what different police officers and detectives are called in different parts of the world, including a North American character, a Brazilian character, an African character, as well as someone from the UK and Asia. Once we had an idea of what the board game was going to look like, I began sketching out the character and location cards for Crisis. This was a fun and challenging process. I used Procreate on my iPad to create half of the illustrations and designs for each card. I spent a lot of time refining the details and adding small touches that would make each character and location feel unique and memorable. Once I had the designs finalized, I met up with Jordan, who completed the other half of the location and character cards, and we created more cohesive designs. While Jake and Jordan worked on the board game and the board game cover designs, I also created the game pieces using Model Magic clay. I wanted the pieces to be tactile and visually interesting, while I also painted the pieces or landmarks metallic like they are in the game. After each member was done creating their cards, I added a label and border to each one, as well as cutting them out and laminating them, making sure that the design I had made for the back of the cards lined up correctly. Aside from the cards and game pieces, I also created a mini top secret manila folder to hold the cards during gameplay. I wanted to add another layer of immersion to the game, so I spent lots of time designing and assembling the folder. It's decorated with a question mark marking, just like the folder in the real game that holds the 3 cards that you're trying to guess. Meeting up as a group after the critique, we were able to take these comments and put them into our fully realized version of the game right before we printed everything out and turned it into the Crisis board game that we played on game day.